just
Wait, I know that you were going to go first, but I have to say, what were you going to say? Were you going to say the coffee thing?
No, it's okay, it's fine.
Okay, no,
it's fine.
go.
You go first.
No, you go.
No, you go first. Are you going to let me go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay. So we just had some really strong Vietnamese, stop shaking the camera, coffee, so there's no danger of either of us falling asleep.
We are
during
wired
the show.
off the coffee.
Wired. And at this great place across the street from the Lucille Lortel, this is quickly becoming my favorite spot of Fringe.
So,
this show is called Pope.
The musical!
It's about, right there,
the Pope.
Someone gets kidnapped, they get framed, there's a robot army.
I love robot armies in the Vatican.
I'm hoping that this will make my Fringe dreams come true.
You want something subversive, alternative, something crazy.
What I want is something similar to Silence, which we saw in this very theater maybe 4 Fringes ago, which was a musical version of Silence of the Lambs.
Well, what I'm looking forward to is a robot Pope, because I think a robot Pope is the only way that the Pope could really be infallible. Because that's a robot.
Oh, that's very clever.
Like Hal from 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
You know, blow the Vatican up sort of thing. Crazy.
You know what's funny? Have you ever noticed how all robots in science fiction are gay?
Yep. Gotta go.
Hal is gay.
The Pope.
C-3PO
robot.
is gay.
They're flashing the lights off. They're flashing the lights.
No, they're not. They're not flashing the lights.
Gotta go.
You're just trying to cut me off about my gay sci-fi robot theories.
Gotta go. Seeing the Pope.
Stop censoring me.
We're Andrew for Time Out New York seeing the Pope at the Lucille Lortel Theatre, starring a robot Pope. So, was that zany and wacky enough for you?
Yes, it was. It was perfectly zany and wacky.
Was this your Fringe Festival musical that you wanted?
My Fringe Festival fantasy come true.
I have to say, it was a typical Fringe Festival musical.
I mean, well, it was like your perfect Fringe Festival. It was basically like a high school production of an irreverent, original, campy, over-the-top, self-referential, lefty political script, done on like amphetamines.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fantastic. It's perfect.
I have to say the music was like Sesame Street. The music was kind of basic and kind of sing-songy. They were extremely resourceful. When it worked for me, it was hysterical, but there were times that it didn't work as well. I think that if you could somehow get what we saw earlier in some of the more polished musicals and apply that to this, you'd have the perfect musical.
But to me, the music in this totally destroys the music in Bunked.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I felt like the music was
if you like Sesame Street's, simple music, I guess
yeah.
so. But I had a great time.
It is interesting how the form of it's almost like they do these things. They're like what's the French thing with the people in black suits and they're holding
Momenchance.
Yes, there's this momenchanciness to a lot of French productions, which has become really de rigueur, if you will, and it's. You're right. Sometimes it gets a little hackneyed, but when it works, it works.
Yeah, and you know what? It's resourceful, and if you like silly, wacky, zany, Monty Python type musicals, this is your one to go to.
Very Python.
Yeah, Pope the musical also had a good message.
It did have a good
message. The robot Pope. There was no robot Pope.
No, he had a robot army.
I know, but I wanted the robot Pope.
I know.
Speaking on Pope at Lucille Lortel Theatre for Time Out New York Fringe Binge, AndrewAndrew.
One last thing.
We're in a speakeasy.
Okay, actually, 2 last things.
We're in a speakeasy.
First of all, nobody was mic'd, unlike Bunked, where they were mic'd, which only led to downfall. That's the definition of hubris. And 2, what was the other thing? Oh, even though you knew where things were going and it was obvious how things would end up, you didn't know how they were going to get there because these kinds of shows are so fantastical and bizarre that the plot twists truly are a surprise, unlike something that's based a little bit more on reality.
Anything can happen in the world of the Pope.
Unlike the shows which are based a little bit more on reality, like Bunked, where there's no level of magical realism at all.
Over and out. Gotta get back to the speakeasy.